The airport was packed, noisy and impatient, yet everything seemed to freeze when a tall black woman in a simple grey dress stepped into the VIP lounge. People glanced, judged, whispered. She didn't look rich, she didn't look powerful, she didn't look like she belonged there, and that was exactly what her ex-husband, a flashy millionaire with cameras following him, wanted everyone to believe. He smirked, loud enough for others to hear, mocking her as if she were invisible. But he didn't know she wasn't the same woman he abandoned years ago. He didn't know what was about to land on the runway, and when it did, the entire airport would witness a reversal so shocking that even the cameras would struggle to capture the truth. Her name was Amara. Once quiet, once overlooked, once shadowed by a husband who treated her as if she were just another accessory, useful only when displayed beside him. She had spent years trying to survive in a marriage built on status, control, and silent humiliation. Her ex-husband, Victor Hale, had risen to fame as a tech millionaire whose arrogance only grew with every magazine cover. To him, Amara had never been more than a pretty face that didn't match his upscale world. He whispered cruelty behind smiles, used her as a prop, and discarded her when she refused to play along. After the divorce, Victor publicly painted her as weak, broke, and dependent, a woman who walked away with nothing but pain. And the world believed him. Why wouldn't they? He had money, power, and influence. She had none of it. Today, they crossed paths for the first time in years. Victor walked into the VIP area surrounded by journalists, assistants, and fans. Cameras flashed. Reporters shouted his name. And there, standing quietly near a corner, was Amara, calm, poised, and remarkably unbothered. Victor noticed her immediately. His ego wouldn't allow him to ignore someone he used to control. In his mind, she was still the same powerless woman he left behind. He strutted toward her, loud enough that the press could hear every mocking word he threw at her presence, intentionally pushing her into an embarrassing spotlight. What he didn't know was simple. Amara wasn't waiting for a commercial flight. She wasn't wandering the VIP area. She wasn't the woman he thought he broke. She was here for something far greater, something that would rewrite everything he believed about her. Amara had disappeared from Victor's world after the divorce, and her absence made him arrogant. He assumed she had reached her life she came from, humble, quiet, and unnoticed. In truth, she had been building something remarkable. Not out of revenge, not out of anger, but out of a determination to reclaim her dignity and build a future untied to the shadows of her past. After leaving, she accepted a fellowship abroad and spent years studying sustainable aviation engineering. Her innovative research caught the attention of global investors, private firms, and even environmental foundations. She worked quietly, avoiding the spotlight that Victor worshipped. She designed aviation models, streamlined eco-flight systems, and partnered with major companies who valued her brilliance. Within a few years, she became one of the most respected innovators in a field where Black women were rarely visible. Her contributions had reshaped modern private flight planning and attracted elite clients who trusted her expertise more than any flashy billionaire influencer. But none of those achievements mattered to Victor. In his mind, Amara had no place in a world of wealth. So when he saw her standing alone in the VIP lounge, he used the moment to belittle her. He spoke loudly, criticizing how she dressed, joking about people who sneak into VIP areas, and rolling his eyes dramatically for the reporters. The crowd laughed without knowing they were laughing at the wrong person. The humiliation didn't sting Amara anymore. She had healed far beyond his reach. She simply waited. her eyes occasionally drifting toward the runway. Her silence made Victor angrier because he needed attention, needed reaction, needed someone to validate his superiority. Then it happened. A low hum began to echo outside, deep, powerful, unmistakably different from ordinary engines. Heads turned, phones lifted. The sound grew louder, richer, commanding. A sleek, silver and black private jet emerged from behind the terminal, larger and more expensive looking than anything the public had seen at this airport. Its wings carved through the air with the sharp elegance of a billion-dollar signature model. People gasped. Even Victor's entourage paused, confused by the unfamiliar aircraft. The jet was easily worth over $80 million, an elite prototype flown only by world leaders, royal families, or top-level innovators. The jet stopped directly in front of the VIP lounge windows. A crew of 5 stepped out, uniformed, polished, professional. They didn't look toward Victor. They didn't look at the journalists. Their eyes scanned the lounge until they found one person, Amara. They entered the VIP area, causing a hush to fall across the room. Passengers stepped aside. Journalists froze. Even Victor stopped smiling as confusion cracked through his arrogance. The lead pilot approached her with deep respect, greeting her formally. The crew stood behind him like an honor guard. The world watched as the truth unfolded. Amara wasn't lost. She wasn't forgotten. She wasn't waiting for Victor. She was the one the $80 million jet had come to collect. Every eye in the lounge locked on her. Victor's expression shifted from amusement to disbelief. He tried to mask his confusion with smirks, but his jaw tightened, his confidence cracking under the weight of a truth he had never imagined. The pilot handed her a sleek black folder, embossed with a gold emblem representing her newest aviation partnership, a joint breakthrough project with global executives who valued her intellect far more than Victor ever had. She reviewed the papers calmly, confirming flight details as the crew awaited her nod. Her presence carried quiet authority, the kind that didn't need noise to assert itself. Reporters, sensing a shift in the power dynamic, began recording again. But now, they were focused entirely on her. Victor tried stepping forward, as if proximity could restore control, but no one cared about him anymore. The spotlight he fought for his entire life effortlessly shifted to the woman he once discarded. The pilot announced her name with reverence and listed her titles: lead engineer, project director, award-winning innovator. Each word struck Victor like a blow. Cameras captured his stunned reaction, freezing the moment for millions to eventually witness. The final blow came when the flight crew escorted her personally toward the exit. People stepped aside as though royalty were passing. Victor scrambled to maintain his image, speaking louder, forcing laughter, pretending he understood what was happening. But his efforts only highlighted his irrelevance. Amara walked past him without bitterness or pride, only peace. She didn't need to humiliate him. She didn't need revenge. The truth itself was enough. Victor stood frozen, watching as someone he once mocked stepped into a world far beyond anything he could control. As she approached the stairs of the massive jet, the reality became undeniable. The woman he had tried to belittle had surpassed him entirely, and the world had witnessed it. Amara took her seat inside the jet, the quiet hum of luxury surrounding her. Through the window, she could still see the VIP lounge, crowds buzzing, cameras flashing repeatedly as reporters pieced together the dramatic reversal they had just witnessed. Victor stood alone. No fans, no entourage, no cameras following him. His ego, for the first time, had nowhere to hide. But Amara didn't smile at his downfall. She had outgrown the desire for validation from people who never saw her worth. Her success wasn't built from revenge, it was built from resilience, discipline, and the courage to rebuild when the world doubted her. As the jet began to move, she whispered a silent promise to herself to use her influence to help other women, especially Black women, rise in fields where they were underestimated, unheard, or unseen. Her journey had shown her that brilliance often blooms in silence, away from the noise of people who fail to appreciate it. The aircraft lifted gracefully into the sky, leaving the airport and Victor far behind. The world below shrank, and so did the weight of her past. For the first time in years, she felt something deeper than triumph. She felt free. Viewers watching this story would later debate the moment endlessly, amazed by the reversal they never saw coming. Many would reflect on how easily society believes the loudest voice instead of the quiet truth. Others would question how many stories like Amara's remain invisible, buried beneath assumptions, prejudice, or arrogance. And perhaps the most important lesson lingered long after the jet disappeared into the clouds. Never underestimate someone because of their past. Never judge someone by the stereotypes the world builds around them. And never forget, sometimes the quietest person in the room has the power to change the world. A question remains for every viewer. If you witnessed this moment, whose side would you have chosen before the truth arrived?